One of the things that we talk about, or people talk about all the time in transport, is the situation where we talk about the places you go to, whether it's retail distribution centres,
Yeah.
RDCs, or other kinds of warehouse. The common phrase or the common kind of experience that seems to come across to most of us is that in many of these places, drivers are badly treated or not treated as ordinary human beings. Do you find that the case these days much or not?
When I'm going to an RDC, yes, I do. We're treated like cattle, literally like cattle. I won't name RDCs, but
Sure.
you get the supermarkets. One beginning with tea is particularly bad. During COVID, we were allowed to take our paperwork and keys into the office, and then we were allowed to sit back in our
Right.
cabs. That's not so bad, but what they were doing was once the unit's on the bay, keys and paperwork in the office, and we had to sit on uncomfortable chairs. At times there would be 50 drivers in one room with one toilet that was poorly maintained. You got a vending machine with coffee that just looked like gloop. It was awful. And vending machines with very fattening, unhealthy food in it. But where the particular work I do, I do go to. Let me think.
Don't worry.
I go to factories and general other places. So I'm out. I'm active. I'm doing all the time. So
Yeah.
I pull torque liners or curtain siders for those who don't know what torque liners are. So when I get to a destination, I'll arrive. I'll book in. I'll strip the trailer. And that all counts as work, all goes to my working time directive. And then once that's all done, I can then do my trailer back up and leave. And then I'll find somewhere to park up to have the essential tacho break. Because everything like that has to be fitted in with the day. So when I have been sat at an RDC, when the vehicle is on the bay, I can put my tacho on brake because I'm away from the vehicle.
Right.
If I'm sat in a vehicle and I'm being unloaded, technically I shouldn't have it on brake because it's still work.
Right.
But yeah.
How about, I mean, when you're in an RDC or when you're in a warehouse, comes back,
Yeah.
if you are not allowed to sit in your truck,
Yeah.
that seems to me to be particularly kind of unfriendly, really,
Well,
an
that-
uncomfortable place to be.
That's governed by, dare I say it, health and safety.
Right.
For example, if I'm going to a warehouse where I'm collecting big bags of or sheets of plywood or something that can do me some damage,
Right.
I have to strip the curtain and then I'm escorted out to behind a caged area and sat on a little tiny chair with my truck keys, and then they get on with their bit, and then I'm escorted back out round to the trailer.
Right.
Have to do it all up, and then I'm free to go.
Okay.
But as a driver, I'll quite often get to a destination and they'll say, right, we're busy, you have to wait, drive. And with this whole ping thing, the NHS track and trace now, so many people have been pinged and they're self-isolating. There's fewer and fewer staff at these warehouses,
Right.
and so we're having to wait longer and longer.
Right.
So not only do we have a lorry driver shortage, which is well known, it's all over the news now,
Sure.
but we're getting fewer and fewer staff in warehouses, so we're having to wait longer and longer. Therefore, our progression during the day is getting less and less. So it's a revolving situation that everyone's getting less and less stuff. Supermarkets are crying out for, absolutely screaming out for drivers.
Right.
But it's not just a driver problem. They've also got warehouse staff issues as well. So if I was to go to a supermarket and check and book in for a 6 a.m. start, we'll say that's a late start for a supermarket, I may not get a unit or trailer until 9-10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Of course, 4 hours has gone on by then, so that leaves me with 11 hours left on a 15-hour day.
Right.
So that's one local delivery, that's it. If I'm on a 13-hour day, that leaves me with 9 hours for the day. That's before my wheels have even turned. So
That's amazing. What about the way drivers are treated in places? Are you actually allowed to go to the loos? Because at one point there was a big problem with that, wasn't there? Going to the loos when you're actually in a warehouse, or when you need a drink, something like that?
during the pandemic, so from March until when it started easing,
Yeah.
that was the best time I've had in the last 18 years
Right.
of driving. The best. And what I mean by that is driving. Going from A to B. I remember I drove from the port of Felixstowe to the other side of Exeter to a warehouse down there, and in that entire journey I saw 7 other vehicles. 7.
Right.
That's a long way, and it gave me a chance to sit back and enjoy more of the countryside and the views, and not have to worry so much about other road users, because there was none. It was almost like a zombie apocalypse. It was wonderful. But no, going back to a question about how we were treated. Motorway services. I remember fleet services. I parked up there one night. I was not allowed to use their facilities.
Right.
All the restaurants were closed.
Yep.
The shop in there, where you pay for your parking,
Sure.
they still wanted 30 quid off me just for parking there,
Right.
without amenities. So how did I pee at night? Well, same as most lorry
Same as
drivers, in a
everybody.
bottle. Some pleasant thing to do, but sometimes it has to be done. As the pandemic, continued on, we have to wear our masks, as you
Sure.
well know, and we were being treated, and still are at some places, literally like we have the plague.
Sure.
It was paperwork goes there, keys go there, off you go. And I wasn't treated like a human. I was treated, as I say, like a zombie. And to think that these are people that need people like me and my colleagues and my other fellow lorry drivers to treat us like we're passing the nasties around, it was degrading. It wasn't very nice. So that side of the job was horrible. I didn't enjoy it. But what I do for a living, my job, is to drive this truck, and I absolutely love it.